talked about the importance of developing good prompt engineering skills. Here, I'd like to expand on that, plus offer some additional tips for thoughtful reasoning engine search strategies. First, be specific. The more specific the prompt, the more customized and nuanced the generated results will be. Provide context. Reasoning engines do well when you include context within your query, which often includes providing an example of the type of answer that you're looking for.
Rather than having to infuse it with knowledge, it already knows what it knows. Instead, we need to give it examples of what right looks like and how we can answer the question that we've asked in the very specific way that we want it answered. And your ability to provide that instruction happens in the prompt as well.
Break things down. If you've got a complex query, try breaking it down into smaller parts. This can make it easier to get a thorough, non-confusing answer. Use clear language. Reasoning engines are designed to synthesize human speech, so it tends to do a fine job understanding colloquial language, jargon, or slang. But if you want the best results, write your prompt as clearly as possible with proper grammar. One thing though, if you're creating a prompt for a specific industry or use case, using very clear examples of industry language is the way to go.
One of the most interesting things about this role is it's very domain specific. Someone who's building the prompt has to know the problem they're trying to solve. It's less about the technology and more about the business problem or the challenge you have. I want to be an animator. So I'm like, I can build animation. But in order for me to get like a GPT model, for example, to do an animation, I actually have to know all the lingo and all the jargon of animators in order to do that work. I need to be an animator to use that tool.
Experiment. Try out all sorts of ways to write your prompts. Often, slightly changing your query leads to different responses and different levels of creativity. And the neat thing is, this type of experimentation isn't just making you learn, it's also making the reasoning engine learn.
It's building over time and learning from the inputs, and it's more of a sort of a dance between human and machine, because it's always, you're iterating the prompt, you're trying to push it into these new directions to be able to be more creative and in alignment with what you envision. And I think over time, as it continues to learn from this, it might actually get more creative itself.
Every time we use the model, the outcome changes. The ground truth shifts even just a little bit. So we're going to have to make sure that we're continuously training and monitoring the output of that model over time.
Along those lines, here's a list of some creative ideas for how you can expand your prompt engineering skills. Role-play scenarios. Frame your query as a role-play scenario where the reasoning engine takes on the persona of someone relevant to your query. For example, imagine you're the product manager for a brand new smartphone company. What are 10 potential innovative features that could be added within the next 5 years? Analogies. In your prompt, explain concepts using an analogy to better understand complex ideas. For example, explain quantum mechanics using a sports analogy. Debate style questions. Ask for arguments for and against a particular topic to get a more comprehensive understanding of different perspectives. For example, present arguments for and against the implementation of universal basic income. Creative exercises.